The movie The Hunger Games came out in 2012. This follows Katniss Everdeen in this dystopian world where the United States is split up into 12 districts, and there is something called the Hunger Games. The big capital evil people made these games to remind the districts that don't do a rebellion, because we'll kill more kids, man. You don't want us to do that. I'm just saying you don't. So then they're like, okay, fine. So they don't have an uprising, and they have a Hunger Games every single year. I think this is an incredibly ahead of its time concept for many reasons I'll go over in this video talking about this movie. Because I think this is definitely a great movie, but it did have limitations because of the time it came out, because of the way it is shot, which is a huge part of this movie, and can also help it a lot, but at the same time, heavily damage it at the same time. Katniss does not get chosen, but it is her sister, but then she's like, I volunteer as tribute. And like, yeah, because I don't get why, because her sister's actually so annoying. I wish she would have just died, honestly. But Katniss volunteers as tribute, and she's like, no! But then she and Peeta Mellark, played by Josh Hutcherson, go to the capital to train for the Hunger Games. And here you get to see a large contrast between the dying, absolutely famished districts, and then you have the capital. This huge, absolutely bountiful place where kids are literally buying swords to pretend like they're in the Hunger Games because they're watching it on TV. That's basically their whole entertainment at this point. And it's such a sad dystopian world that I really do think was a little bit ahead of its time. Because if it was made now, and I kind of wish it was made now instead of when it was actually made, because they could have done so much more if it was made today. But with the limitations they had, I feel like something else they did is they used, shaky cam a lot. And this is one of the things where I said it can also be an advantage in some parts, while in a lot of other parts, it just feels unnecessary, and they're just doing it because it just feels lazy. But, like, they use shaky cam to show what the capital looks like, and to show how frantic, and just absolutely insane it is. And that's good. But when they actually get to the arena, and you show them in these woods during, like, fight scenes or scenes like that, it completely changes the perspective. And it just becomes annoying and kind of sickening. Because you have all these characters acting out this big action sequence, but you don't have enough time to take it in because they are using shaky cam to get their point across, and it just fails at that. But still, we do figure out what life in the capital is like versus what the districts is like, and they train and everything. There's some amazing scenes. We eventually meet Haymitch and Effie, and our main characters for these movies. Obviously, the girl on fire because her dress lights on fire. So there's this guy who's basically just a spokesperson for the Capitol, which is like, dang, that's like such a cool job. Just be able to just wear these cool suits and just yap in front of like a television all day in front of like millions of people. Wouldn't that just be fun? Yeah. Anyway, so he interviews each of the tributes, and he is just so dang energetic. He kind of feels like when they're actually in the arena, he is the comic relief, because there will randomly be things happening, and then it'll cut to, like, freaking Caesar Flickerman just yapping about, yes, very interesting kill. Just giving the most baseline crap ever reaction stuff. It's like, it really was ahead of its time, because then you have, like, Caesar in this movie just, like, reacting to all these people, the most blatant, most fake reactions. And now that's what half of YouTube is doing. So, like, that's just kind of cool, to be honest. That they did that. Yeah, so, in the arena, there's, like, a bunch of tributes from each district of a man and a woman, and they're training, then they get out into the arena. And this is where most of the movie is, because obviously this is the main part of the movie. The Hunger Games. By the way, the third and the fourth one did not understand this. Just saying, I'm going to review this later, and I'm going to have a lot to say about them. Still, though. And, we see how the audience is like, you know, these two tributes from District 12, maybe they might have something going on. So then we see them going through this arena. They're like, okay, we're just gonna pretend like we have some sort of relationship, so, we can survive and actually get nutrients to gobble down. And it works. They win the Hunger Games, and they win. That's basically the end of the movie. It leads into the next one, but we'll talk about that one later. The Hunger Games is such an ahead of its time concept, I think. It's obviously based off of a book, but yeah, so, just the characters, the design, the acting, for the most part, and some of the ways it's shot are pretty good. This is just a pretty fun, good movie with an interesting concept executed really well. Not everything is perfect in this movie. In fact, this is far from perfect, but seeing some of the elements that they introduced in this movie and seeing how they handle them and some of the characters and things like that, it's just so fun. And the way the Capitol looks, the set design, all that good stuff. This movie is really, really good. Do I say it's perfect? Absolutely not. Far from it, actually. But I do think it's pretty alright. Not my most favorite movie. I do think it's decent, though. Out of 100, I'm gonna give this movie a 60... No, actually, I'm gonna give this movie a 66 out of 100. Pretty good. Not too good, though. It is something special, though. It is the Hunger Games. Ahead of its time concept, executed pretty well. Many things were done very well, and this is just a show of what they could do. Pretty good, yeah. I really liked it. And yeah, guys, so if you enjoyed this video or any of my other content, please do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.